Bandeham Shiguro Shiyata Parakamalam Shigurun Vaishnavamscha Shirupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirana Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivashikam Vitamscha Om Agyanatimrandasya Gyanajana Shalakaya Shakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Nama Gorva Bistam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasthaveda Nipanam Shirupa Patanugam Govindabhidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavad Premnavi Bijapradam Devam Divyatanum Suchanda Varanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridaram Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gorata Vishay Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 1, the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And previously we heard how Mahaprabhu tried to go to Vrindavan through Bengal. And he did so because he wanted to get the blessings of his mother and also the river Ganges. So when he went, great crowds of people followed him because Mahaprabhu hadn't been in Bengal for a long time. And ultimately they followed him and he went to Ramakeli, which would normally be curious because that's the center of the Muslim government. The king is there. But also Rupa and Sanatan were ministers in the king's government, the Nawab Hussain Shah's government. So ultimately, when Mahaprabhu went there, he met with Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, and he gave him full nourishment. And then, as he was leaving, Sanatan Goswami told him, "This is not the way to go to Vrindavan," followed by so many people. And then Mahaprabhu went a little further to Kanai Natashala. Kanai Natashala is a place where Kanai refers to Krishna, and Kanai Natashala is where Krishna's pastimes are shown, paintings or figures showing the pastimes of Krishna. And Mahaprabhu went as far as Kanai Natashala, and then he decided, I will go back to Jagannath Puri. And he went to Shantipur, and he met with all the devotees, including his mother, at the house of Advaita Acharya. And then he went back to Jagannath Puri. So we're at that point, and I'll start with text number 236. Balabhadra Bhattacharya Ara Pandit Damodar Duijan Sange Prabhu Aila Nilachal. The two persons who accompanied Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Jagannath Puri, Nilachala, were Balabhadra Bhattacharya and Damodar Pandit. So those two went from Advaita Acharya's house with Mahaprabhu back to Jagannath Puri, along with the other devotees who were following him. Some of his Parsha devotees who went with him from Jagannath Puri. Dinakata Tahan Rahi Chalila Brindavan Lukaya Chalila Ratre Nanjane Konjan. After remaining at Jagannath Puri for a few days, the Lord secretly started for Vrindavan at night. He did this without anyone's knowledge. Balabhadra Bhattacharya Rahe Matra Sange Jarikanda Pate Kashi Aila Maharange. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Jagannath Puri for Vrindavan, only Balabhadra Bhattacharya was with him. Thus he traveled on the path through Jarikanda and arrived in Benares, Varanasi, with great delight. Din Sharakashite Rohe Gela Brindavan Mathura Dekiya Deke Dwarasha Kanan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at Benares only 4 days and then left for Vrindavan. After seeing the town of Mathura, he visited the 12 forests. So, of course, this is a resume of the later pastimes. So they're given in brief by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj. Lila stala deki preme hoila astir balabhadra koila tare maturar bahir. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited all 12 places of Sri Krishna's pastimes, he became very much agitated because of ecstasy. Balabhadra Bhattacharya somehow or other got him out of Mathura. Ganga Tirapate Loya Prayage Aila Shirupa She Prabhuke Tatai Milila. After leaving Mathura, the Lord began to walk along the path on the bank of the Ganges, and finally he reached the holy place named Prayag, Allahabad. It was there that Srila Rupa Goswami came and met the Lord. Dandavad Kore Rupa Bhumete Parila Parama Anande Prabhu Alingana Dila. At Prayag, Rupa Goswami fell down on the ground to offer obeisances to the Lord, and the Lord embraced him with great delight. Shri Rupe Shikha Karai Patala Brindaman Apane Korila Varanasi Agaman. After instructing Srila Rupa Goswami and the Dashava Maida Ghat in Prayag, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered him to go to Vrindavan. The Lord then returned to Varanasi. Kashite Prabhu Keyashi Milila Sanatan Dui Masa Rohitare Koraila Shikan. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Varanasi, Sanatan Goswami met him there. The Lord remained there for 2 months and instructed Sanatan Goswami perfectly. Mathura Patailatare Diya Bhakti Ba Sanyasire Kripakore Gela Nilacha. After fully instructing Sanatan Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent him to Mathura with empowered devotional service. In Benares, he also bestowed his mercy upon the Mayavadi sannyasis. He then returned to Nilachala, Jagannath Puri. So these two, Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, are the gurus of Sambandha and Abhideya, the two fundamental processes of devotional service. Sanatan Goswami is the guru of Sambandha Gyan, as one's relationship with Krishna. And Rupa Goswami is the guru of Abhideya, which is a process of devotional service by which one serves Krishna in that relationship. And then, of course, there is prayojana. Prema prayojana means the goal is love of Godhead. So I'll continue. Jai Vatsarai Che Prabhu Korila Vilas Kabu Iti Uti Kabu Ketrabhas. This said that prayojana, we especially get the instruction of Raghunath Das Goswami. Jai Vatsara Aiche Prabhu Korila Vilas Kabu Iti Uti Kabu Ketrabhas. The Lord traveled all over India for 6 years. He was sometimes here and sometimes there, performing his transcendental pastimes, and sometimes he remained at Jagannath Puri. Anande Bhakta Sange Sada Kirtana Vilas Jagannath Darshan Premara Vilas. While at Jagannath Puri, the Lord passed his time in great joy by performing Sankirtan and visiting the temple of Jagannath in great ecstasy. Madhya-lila Koelun e Sutra Vibaran Anjalila Sutra Eve Shuna Bhaktagan. Thus I have given a synopsis of the Madhya-lila, the middle pastimes of the Lord. Now, O devotees, kindly hear the synopsis of the final pastimes of the Lord, known as the Antya-lila. Vrindavana hoite jadi nilachale aila atara barsha tahan bas kahan nahi gela. When the Lord returned to Jagannath Puri from Vrindavan, he remained there and did not go anywhere else for 18 years. Prativarsha Aishena Tahan Gorera Bhaktagan Charimas Rohi Prabhur Sange Samilan. During those 18 years, all the devotees of Bengal used to visit him at Jagannath Puri every year. They would remain there for 4 continuous months and enjoy the company of the Lord. Nirantara Nritya Gita Kirtana Bilas Achandale Prema Bhakti Korela Prakash. At Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed chanting and dancing unceasingly. Thus he enjoyed the pastime of Sankirtan. He manifested his causeless mercy, pure love of God, to everyone, including the lowest man. At Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed chanting and dancing unceasingly. Thus he enjoyed the pastime of Sankirtan. He manifested his causeless mercy, pure love of God, to everyone, including the lowest man. Pandita Gosai Koila Nila Chalebas, Rakeshwara Damodar, Shankara Haridas. Residing with the Lord at Jagannath Puri were Pandit Gosai and other devotees, such as Rakeshwara, Damodar, Shankar, and Haridas. So Pandita Gosai is Gadadhar Pandit, and other devotees, Vakreshwar Pandit, Damodar Pandit. Shankar Pandit is the younger brother of Damodar Pandit, and Haridas Thakur. Jaganananda Bhagavan Govinda Kashishwar, Paramananda Puriyara Swarup Damodar, Jaganananda Bhagavan Govinda, Jaganananda Bhagavan Govinda Kashishwar, Paramananda Puri, and Swarup Damodar were other devotees who also live with the Lord. Ketrabasi Ramananda Rai Prabriti Prabhu Sangi Esab Koila Nrityastiti. Srila Ramananda Roy and other devotees who were residents of Jagannath Puri also remained permanently with the Lord. Advaita Nityananda Makunda Shrivas Vidyanidhi Vasudeva Murari Jattadas Prativarshe Aishe Sange Rohe Charimas Tasaba Loya Prabhur Bibida Bilas. Other devotees of the Lord, headed by Sri Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Mukunda, Srivas, Vidyanidhi, Vasudeva, and Murari, used to visit Jagannath Puri and remain with the Lord for 4 continuous months. The Lord enjoyed various pastimes in their company. Haridas Sara Siddhi Prapti Adbhuta Sesab Apanima Prabhu Jara Koila Mahotsav. At Jagannath Puri, Haridas Thakur passed away. The incident was very wonderful because the Lord himself performed the festival of Thakur Haridas's departure. Tabe Rupa Gosai Punar Agaman Tahara Ridaye Koila Prabhu Shakti Sancharan. At Jagannath Puri, Srila Rupa Goswami met the Lord again, and the Lord invested his heart with all transcendental power. Tabe Chota Haridase Prabhu Koila Danda Damodar Pandit Koila Prabhu Ke Bhakya Danda. After this, the Lord punished Chota Haridas, or Junior Haridas, and Damodar Pandit gave some warning to the Lord. Actually, Damodar Pandit was the eternal servant of the Lord. He could not punish the Lord at any time, nor had he any desire to do, nor had he any desire to, but he did give some warning to the Lord so that others would not blaspheme him. Of course, Damodar Pandit should have known that the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is free to act in any way. There is no need to warn him, and such an action is not very much appreciated by advanced devotees. Tabe Sanatana Gosar Punaragaman Jaishtamase Prabhutare Koila Parikan. Thereafter, Sanatan Goswami met the Lord again, and the Lord tested him in scorching heat during the month of Jaishta. Tushtahoya Prabhutare Pataila Brindavan Advaitera Haste Prabhur Adbhuta Bojan. Being pleased, the Lord sent Sanatana Goswami back to Vrindavan. After that, he was fed wonderfully by the hands of Sri Advaitacharya. Nityananda Sange Jukte Koreya Nibrite. Tare Pataila Gore Prema Pracharite. After sending Sanatana Goswami back to Vrindavan, the Lord privately consulted with Sri Nityananda Prabhu. He then sent him to Bengal to preach love of Godhead. Tabeta Vallabhabhata Prabhure Milila Krishna Namer Arta Prabhu Tahare Kohila. Soon afterward, Vallabhabhata met with the Lord at Jagannath Puri, and the Lord explained to him the import of the holy name of Krishna. Pradyumna Soon afterward, Vallabhabhata met the Lord at Jagannath Puri, and the Lord explained to him the import of the holy name of Krishna. Vallabhabhata is the head of the Vaishnava Sampradaya known as the Vallabha Sampradaya in Western India. There is a long story about Vallabha Acharya, narrated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, specifically in the 7th chapter of the Madhya-lila and the 19th chapter of the Madhya-lila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the house of Vallabha Acharya on the other side of Prayag in a place known as Adailagram. Later, Vallabhabhata saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri to explain his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. He was very proud of his writings, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu corrected him, telling him that a Vaishnava should be humble and follow in the footsteps of his predecessors. The Lord told him that his pride in being superior to Sridhar Swami was not at all befitting a Vaishnava. So Srila Swami was an ancient commentator, an older commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Vallabhabhata didn't take Sridhar Swami's position in high regard, and Mahaprabhu was displeased by that. We can also see that the teaching of humility is very essential. Mahaprabhu's third verse of Sikshastika, Trinadapi Sunichena Taror Iva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. That these are the three essential qualities for advancing and properly chanting the holy name. Humility, offering respect to others, and tolerance. And Srila Govinda Maharaj, he emphasized this verse everywhere he went, everywhere he was at. He spoke about humility, offering respect to others, and tolerance. And we see also that Govinda Maharaj himself very beautifully personified these qualities. Pradyumna Mishrare Prabhu Ramanandastane Krishna Kata Shunala Kohe Taragane Taragune. After explaining the transcendental qualities of Ramananda Roy, the Lord sent Pradyumna Mishra to his residence, and Pradyumna Mishra learned Krishna Katha from him. Gopinath Padanayaka Ramananda Brata Rajamari Techila Prabhu Hoilatrata. After this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saved Gopinath Patanayaka, the younger brother of Ramananda Roy, from being condemned to death by the king. Ramachandra Puri Baye Bika Gataila Vaishnavara Dukadeki Ardeka Rakila. Ramachandra Puri criticized Lord Chaitanya's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eating, therefore the Lord reduced his eating to a minimum. However, when all the Vaishnavas became very sorry, the Lord increased his position to half as much as usual. Brahmanda bitare hoy choda bhuvane baishe jata jivagan. There are 14 planetary systems within the universe, and all living entities reside in those planetary systems. Manushyara Veshadori Jatrikera Chale Prabhura Darshana Kore Ashinilachale. Dressing like human beings on pilgrimage, they all used to come to Jagannath Puri to visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ekdin Srivasadi Jatabhaktagan Mahaprabhur Guna Gana Korana Kirtan. One day all the devotees headed by Srivas Thakur were chanting the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shuni Bhaktagane Kohe Sakroda Bachane Krishna Nama Guna Chadi Ki Kora Kirtane. Not liking the chanting of his transcendental qualities, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised them as if he were angry. What kind of chanting is this? He asked. Are you leaving aside the chanting of the holy name of the Lord? Odatya korite hoila sabakaraman swatandra hoya sabe nashabe bhuvan. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chastised all the devotees, telling them not to show impudence and spoil the entire world by becoming independent. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warned all his followers not to become independent or impudent. Unfortunately, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many Apasampradaya, so-called followers, invented many ways not approved by the Acharyas. Bhakti Vinod Thakur has described them as the owl, baal, kartabaja, neda, darabesh, shani, sahajiya, sakibeki, smarta, jatagosai, atibadi, chodadari, and goranganagari. The owl sampradaya, baal sampradaya, and others invented their own ways of understanding Lord Chaitanya's philosophy without following in the footsteps of the Acharya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself indicates herein that all such attempts would simply spoil the spirit of his mission. Dasha dike kote kote loka hena kale Jai Krishna Chaitanya Bole Kore Kolahale. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was apparently in an angry mood and chastising his devotees, many thousands of people outside loudly cried in a tumultuous voice, "All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jai Krishna Chaitanya." So inside, the devotees were glorifying Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu chastised him and said, "What good will come from this? You should be chanting the holy names of the Lord." But at that time, so many thousands of people suddenly came outside and were crying out for Mahaprabhu and his darshan and crying, "Jai Krishna Chaitanya." When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was apparently in an angry mood and chastising his devotees, many thousands of people outside loudly cried in a tumultuous voice, "All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Brajendra Kumar, Jagatarite Prabhu Tomara Avatar." All the people began to call very loudly, "All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the son of Maharaj Nanda. Now you have appeared in order to deliver the whole world." Bahudura hoite ainu hoya bora arta darshana diya prabhu karaha kirtana. Bahudura hoite ainu hoya bora arta darshan diya prabhu karaha kritarta. O Lord, we are very unhappy. We have come a long distance to see you. Please be merciful and show us your favor. Shunya lokeradonya dravila ridoy bahire ashidarsha dila doyamoy. When the Lord heard the humble petition made by the people his heart softened. Being very merciful, he immediately came out and gave audience to all of them. Being very merciful, he immediately came out and gave audience to all of them. Gave them his darshan. Bahutule bole Prabhu bo Hari Hari Utila Shri Hari Duani Chatur Dik Bari. Raising his arms, the Lord asked everyone to chant loudly the vibration of the holy name of Lord Hari. There immediately arose a great stir, and the vibrations of Hari filled all directions. Prabhu deki premi lok anandita man, Prabhu ke ishwara bole korayestavan. Sing the Lord, everyone became joyful out of love. Everyone accepted the Lord as the Supreme Lord, and thus they offered their prayers. Everyone accepted Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord, and thus they offered their prayers. Stavashuni Prabhu ke Kohenash Srinivas Garigupta Hao Kene Bahire Prakash. While the people were offering their prayers unto the Lord, Srivas Thakur sarcastically said to the Lord, "At home you wanted to be covered. Why have you exposed yourself outside?" So normally, at home, person would be in a natural state, and outside maybe a woman would cover her head like this with her sari. But here it's the opposite. So Srivas Thakur sarcastically said to the Lord, "At home you wanted to be covered. Why have you exposed yourself outside?" Ke shikala eloke kohe konbat iha sabar mukadaka diya nijahat. Srivas Thakur continued, "Who has taught these people? What are they saying? Now you can cover their mouths with your own hand." Surya Jaichi Uday Kori Chahe Lukaite Bujite Na Paritaiche Tomar Charite. It is as if the sun after rising wanted to hide itself. We cannot understand such characteristics in your behavior. Prabhu Kohen Srinivas Chara Bindam. Prabhu Kohen Srinivas Chara Vidambana Sabimele Koramor Kateka Lanchana. The Lord replied, "My dear Srinivas, please stop joking. You have all combined together to humiliate me in this way. Etabole loke kore shubha drishtidan abhyantare gela loker purna hoilakam." Thus speaking, the Lord entered his room after glancing auspiciously upon the people out of charity. In this way, the desires of the people were completely fulfilled. Raghunath Das, Nityananda, Pashigela, Chida Dade Mahotsava, Tahaye Gorila. At this time, Raghunath Das approached Sri Nityananda Prabhu and, according to his order, prepared a feast and distributed prasadam composed of chira and yogurt. And chira, or chip rice and curd. Actually, chira, as I said, is like rice flakes, and curd refers to yogurt. There is a special preparation in Bengal wherein chira is mixed with curd and sometimes with sandash and mango. So chira is very nice, and it's mixed with yogurt and sometimes with sandash and mango. It is a very palatable food offered to the deity and then distributed to the public. Raghunath Das Goswami, who was a householder at this time, met Nityananda Prabhu. According to his advice, he executed this festival of Dadi Chira Prasad. Tar Agya Loya Gela Prabhu Chanane Prabhu Tare Samarpila Swaruperastane. Later, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami left home and took shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri. At that time, the Lord received him and placed him under the care of Swarup Damodar for spiritual enlightenment. Brahmananda Bharatir Guchaila Charmambar. Brahmananda Bharatir Guchaila Charmambar E Madhya-lila Koila Chai Matsar. Later, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped Brahmananda Bharati's habit of wearing deerskin. The Lord thus enjoyed his pastimes continuously for 6 years, experiencing varieties of transcendental bliss. Etako hila Madhya-lila Sutragan Sesha Dwarasha Vatsarer Shuna Bibaran. I have thus given a synopsis of the Madhya-lila. Now please hear the pastimes the Lord performed during the last 12 years. Thus Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, strictly following the footsteps of Sri Vyasadeva, gives a synopsis of the Leelas of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has given such a description at the end of each canto. In the Adi Leela, he outlined the pastimes of the Lord in the 5 stages of boyhood, leaving the details of the description to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Now in this chapter, the pastimes that took place at the end of the Lord's life are summarized. These are described in the Madhya-lila and Antya-lila. The rest of the pastimes have been described in a synopsis in the 2nd chapter of the Madhya-lila. In this way, the author has gradually described both the Madhya-lila and the Antya-lila. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijara As Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadas narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila, 1st chapter, summarizing the later pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now we'll have some sing Hari Haraya. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Charabhaya Nama Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Charabhaya Nama Charabhaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Charabhaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Maranaman Giridhari Gopinatha Maranaman Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Garanara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Garanara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jai Te Vignana Shabhishta Puran Jai Te Vignana Shabhishta Puran Jai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Jai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Dasabar Pada Renu Mora Panchagras Astabara Pada Renu Mora Panchagras Tadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Tadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame Janame More Abhilas me jana me more abhilas. Hey Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Hare Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryan. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narathamudas. Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narathamudas. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryan. Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koryan. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narathamudas. Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narathamudas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhariju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyasta Tarasara Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyasta Tarasara Shri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premzigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat ki jai, Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu ki jai, Jayam Vishnupad, Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai, Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Sri Navadip Dham ki jai, Sri Ram Mayapur ki jai, Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Saparshada Sri Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sri Koladvip ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai, Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram ki jai, Ganga Devi ki jai, Tulasi Madharani ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamunajo ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.